Moto Guys and Moto Gals, and welcome back to the 333. In June of this year, I decided I was ready to upgrade from my trusty 2017 Honda CB500F to its bigger, badder brother, the 2018 Honda CB1000R. Amazingly, I've already racked up 5,300 miles on this bike, and I just put new tires on it. So I figured it was about time that I did a complete bike review. In this video, we'll go over all the numbers and everything that both rocks and falls short on this leader naked bike.
I can ride my bike with no handlebars.
Yeah, woohoo! Sorry, Mom's washing machine. Looks like there's a new vibrating girlfriend in my life. You got it, chicken!
So let's begin by comparing the baseline numbers on the two bikes. The CB500F is a feisty cool first bike with a snappy 471cc parallel twin engine, 47 brake horsepower, and 32 pound-feet of torque. It was easy to manage and fun to ride, with its 30.9 inch seat height, 415 pound wet weight, and no-nonsense 160 rear tire. By contrast, the CB1000R is a performance bike designed to stick around for a while. With its 998cc Fireblade inline-4 engine, 143 brake horsepower, and 77 pound-feet of torque. You'll definitely need a few miles under your belt to handle its 32.5 inch seat height, 470 pound wet weight, and road gripping 190 rear tire.
Sometimes.
All right.
Like everything in life, the CB1000R has both its strengths and a few weaknesses. So let's talk about the things I don't like about this bike first. The first thing on my dislike list is the bike's static weight distribution. On paper, this bike is pretty light, only 470 pounds wet. And when it's in motion, it's incredibly nimble and super easy to ride, at any speed. This light weight can be deceiving, however, because most of it resides in the big inline 4-cylinder engine and the fuel tank, both of which sit very high on the bike's center of gravity. What this means is that any static maneuvers, like duck walking the bike into a parking spot, for example, can feel very top-heavy and sketchy. Certainly not a big enough issue to make you not consider buying this bike, but something to take note of, especially if you're a smaller rider. You won't be throwing this bike around like a scooter, that's for sure. The next thing I give a thumbs down to on the CB1000R might sound odd and a bit nitpicky, but it would be the proximity and exposure of the exhaust headers to the front tire. About 3,000 miles into owning the bike, I noticed that the exhaust headers appeared to be literally getting sandblasted by debris kicked off of the front tire. So much so that I decided to try a partial titanium pipe wrap as a deterrent, which I also vlogged about. I removed the tape after about 2 weeks because it made the bike idle too hot, and the protective benefits to the pipes were negligible. There are a few other bikes on the market with this same exposed header design, most notably Kawasaki C900RS, and I can't help but feel that the bike manufacturers overlooked an obvious design flaw here. Either that, or they felt that the look of the exposed exhaust headers was more important than their longevity. An easy remedy would have been a small, smartly designed belly pan. Either way, if you buy the CB1000R, be prepared to use a lot of elbow grease and a lot of autosol to keep those exposed pipes properly maintained. The remaining items on my fail list are really more complaints about owning a bike in the leader class more than anything specific to the CB1000R. I touched on these briefly when I first revealed the bike on my channel back in June, but it's worth going through them again because for some riders, these could be issues when it comes down to actually making a purchase. The first is temperature. Leader bikes run hot and the CB1000R is no exception here. Honda has done a pretty admirable job at managing the fury kicked off by the 4-cylinder power plant, and when the bike is moving, the heat is not a factor at all. But idling at a long red light in the July South Jersey humidity is not a very pleasant riding experience. However, for me, it beats riding in the cold any day of the week. The second is fuel consumption. Liter bikes are notorious gluttons, so get used to visiting the pumps regularly and chewing through your garage fuel stores like a bag of Doritos. I'm not sure what Honda officially lists as the mileage rating for the CB1000R, but my personal experience has been about 35 miles per gallon using 93 octane fuel. The tank capacity on the bike is 4.2 gallons, which translates to about 150 miles between fill-ups. Not much if you like to do long touring rides out in remote areas. Last on the shit list is insurance rates. I was actually astounded at how much higher the CB1000R's insurance rates were over the CB500F's, more than double. This is definitely a factor to consider if you are a younger rider, are financing the bike, or have a sketchy driving record. Now the fun part. Let's talk about the things I love about this bike, and there are many. Starting with the amazing 998cc Fireblade engine that's at the heart of this glorious beast. Some bike reviewers have criticized Honda for going back to the well and using the 2006 Fireblade engine as the basis for the power plant in the CB1000R. But as any Honda enthusiast knows, the Fireblade has been a tried and true performer, and the re-engineered version used in the CB1000R kicks ass. The engine has been designed to have a wide, smooth power band, and it is immediately responsive and forgiving in any rev range. Accidentally take a corner without downshifting into the proper gear first? No problem. This engine will forgive you and smoothly pull you through the turn. This power band combined with 4 different rider modes makes the bike versatile enough to handle a wide variety of riding situations. Need to ease carefully through the rain? No problem. Want to crack it open on a track day? The bike's an eager performer. Just want to chill out and cruise down some farm roads? It's a joy to ride. With its 143 ponies at the ready, it has plenty of pull as well. Although not formally a member of the super naked class of bikes like the KTM Super Duke or the Aprilia Tuono, the CB1000R can hold its own, and has carved out its own niche above the muscular middleweights without being unnecessarily aggressive like some of the super nakeds. There is no mistaking the smooth, predictable power delivery of this bike as a Honda. The next thing on the plus side of the ledger is the bike's comfort, performance, and handling. Although fairly aggressive looking, the bike has a very comfortable seating position that falls somewhere between a Triumph Bonneville and a full-on track bike. It's athletic enough to attack the curves, but comfortable enough to take an all-day ride up to the mountains. It features rain, standard, sport, and user riding modes which incorporate various levels of traction control, power delivery, and engine braking. The seat height is manageable at 32.5 inches, but if your height is below 5'7", be prepared to be on the balls of your feet at standstills. The bike is extremely responsive, smooth, flickable, and loves to dip into the curves. The throttle and gearbox are smooth and responsive, and far superior to those on the CB500F. The controls are well placed on the bars, and the instrument screen is extremely well designed and easy to see in most lighting conditions, and features a gear indicator, a fuel gauge, trip meters, and rider mode indicators. At this point, I probably sound like the ultimate Honda fanboy, and I won't keep rambling on and on about what I love about this bike. However, I do think it's worth noting the amazing redesign that Honda made in the appearance department. The 2018 CB1000R looks nothing like its predecessors, and Honda now describes it as a neo-cafe sports bike. The bike features details that are generally not found in other bikes in its price range, including brushed aluminum accent parts, a fully adjustable shell with suspension, etched engine casings, and a beautiful single-sided rear swing arm. Not only is the swing arm pleasing to the eye, it also makes rear wheel and chain maintenance a breeze. I have definitely received compliments from both riders and non-riders on the bike's appearance.
Life is amazing. I just lost a job and 5 minutes later get another job, same weekend, same money. You know who you are? Even Steven.
The last thing to cover in this review of the 2018 CB1000R are features of the bike that I consider to be neutral. That is, I don't consider them to be good or bad, but they are things that any prospective buyer should probably be aware of. The first of these neutral features would be the tires. My bike came standard with Bridgestone Battle Axe tires, and although they performed quite well on the bike, they were short-lived. I just changed mine out at about the 5,000 mile mark. Another aspect to be aware of on this bike is that it features always-on ABS. There is no way to easily disable it, except maybe by removing the ABS fuse, which is obviously not recommended. The bike's underseat storage is very minimal, but no better or worse than any other naked bikes, and you will probably want to augment it with either a backpack or a pillion case. Like most nakeds, the CB1000R offers no protection from the wind. No surprise for a naked, but considering the power of the bike and the fact that it is very capable on large roads and interstates, this can be uncomfortable at speeds over 70 miles per hour. The bike features a plastic rear wheel hugger that serves as a mount for the license plate and shields the rider's back from water and mud kicked up by the rear tire. The hugger is neither attractive or easy to remove, however it does provide an effective shield from messy road spray, so I've chosen to leave mine in place for the time being. So there you have it, the 5,000 mile detailed review of my 2018 Honda CB1000R, or as I like to call it, the Shiny B. If you found this content useful, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel to see more content like it. Thanks and ride safely.